Mackenzie, and I'm the Community Troop Support Manager in the South out of Cincinnati. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to be doing gratitude rocks. So I have a lot of examples that I'm going to show you, but these are rocks that I don't know when the trend started, a couple years back, but as people would go on hikes or walks, people would find like some nice stones, kind of like this, or you can really use any type of rock, but generally they're kind of put more on like the flat ones. And what people would do is they would decorate them, and then they maybe put a nice message on them, or maybe any type of thing that they wanted to, and then from there they would hide them. So as they're going like on a hike or on a walk or something, they would maybe put them on the path so that when people are walking down that path, they can pick it up. And the cool thing is you can either keep it or pick it up and hide it somewhere else for someone else to find. So it's a nice fun way to like spread kindness and joy. So over the years, my family has found quite a few and then made some as well. So I'm going to show you some examples, and it's pretty cool because they're all really different, and they can be like, you can put quotes on them, you can put like a peace sign on them, you can put a smiley face, you can be really artistic, but it really doesn't matter. I know myself, I'm not super really great at like details and things. So that can be a little intimidating, but you'll see from some of these that it's really not too hard. So I'll show you a couple of examples that we found over the years. So this one's a huge one. I hope you can see that right there. So I don't know what that was quite made of. It looks like maybe like some spray paint or something, but that's a really big one that was found. I really like these two. These two have different faces on it. So you've got the smiley face on this one, and then you've got this little guy here, which are really cute. And then on the back, people wrote for this one like 2019, rehide or keep. And there's a lot of different groups, depending on where you live, that you can find, that sometimes when you find them too, you can take a picture and post them if you get your adult to help you. Sometimes they're like Facebook pages or things like that where you can like keep track of where they are, which is pretty cool. Here's another one, which is pretty fun. It has like yellow and lots of swirls. This one's really simple. So this is just blue on one side and orange on the other. So it doesn't have to be anything too fancy. This one, the person wrote either their name or something like that. That might be who they are, what they go by. This one's really simple too. It just has orange and purple dots all over it, which is pretty cool. We've got another one here. Can you see that? This one just has a bunch of different like kind of markings all over it. So it's got, someone just got really excited with this one. I'm trying to find the best place to put it. There we go. Ooh, I really like this one. This one has just a nice peace sign on it with some like speckles on the back, which is pretty cool. And then, I don't know if anyone tuned in, a couple weeks ago, Marissa, one of our program team leaders, she did she does art where she takes rocks and she paints them, and then she does a lot of different dots on them. I think she calls them mandala rocks. And this one kind of reminds me a little bit of that. Let's see if I can get it without the glare. This one has a lot of those little dots all over it, which is really neat, and it reminds me a lot of what Marissa does. So that's the cool thing. This one says the group on it that you can find, and it says it on Facebook. It says Waldport Rocks on Facebook, and it says Polly, so she created it so people can write that on the back if they want to. Another one like Marissa's that she did was like the dots on there. I have a couple more. Ooh, I really like this one. This one's really cool. Look at that one. That one's super neat. So as you can see, you can do all sorts of designs, kind of whatever you want. So you can become as creative as possible with these and do whatever you'd like. This one's cool. It has a little, says love and has a heart. And then this is the last one I have for you all. It's a little ladybug, which is pretty cute too. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. You can do whatever you want. For instance, for today, I have a couple of rocks. I have some paintbrushes, I have some larger ones and some smaller ones for like the detail. I have some water to use. I use just like an old pickle jar. I have something to put my paint on. I'm just using like some aluminum foil. And then I have I have paper towels if I get messy. I'm wearing like a painting shirt so I don't get anything on myself. I have a cloth on the table just in case I get anything on the table, because who knows, I am pretty messy. And then I have a couple different types of paint too. Today I'm mainly going to be, you can really use whatever type of paint you want. It's kind of just experimental. I wouldn't recommend using any like watercolors or anything. Those are probably the only things I would really stay away from. Today I'm going to be using like acrylic paints, and I don't quite know how to say this properly, but it's gouache, I think. It's Gouache, and that type of paint too, right there. So those are the types of things, but the main part of why we're doing gratitude rocks is, again, this is Service Sunday, so we want to be able to brighten people's ways. I know right now it can be a little difficult to find ways to do service, but I know everyone is out taking like nice walks with their family, kind of in their neighborhood. So even if you're able to like maybe find a rock on one of those walks, pick it up, bring it home. I did just a nice little wash in the sink, and then just to get the excess dirt off. And then what you can do from there is really just go ahead and paint it, and then maybe on your next walk, put it back out so someone else can find it. That way we can make sure that kind of that is a way to serve others and show them some happiness during this time. Okay, so what we will do, so I have a plain rock here that I have wet, and I am going to paint it kind of like a base color, just so if I want to do anything on top of it, it'll show up a little bit better. So it's kind of putting like a base coat. So if you're ever painting anything, like maybe like a wall or something, you always want to put a base coat first. So for my base coat, I'm probably going to pick, maybe I'll pick like a white. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of my white paint right here. I'm going to put it onto my painting area. So for instance, for this, I have aluminum foil. You might be using a paper plate. You might have like a piece of cardboard. You might have whatever that is. Let's move this down a little bit so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing. Okay, so if I'm going to be painting the base of this rock, I might be taking like a little bit of a bigger brush here, and I'm going to take my brush, get some paint on it, and then I'm going to give it that base coat. The paint I'm using can have some water on it if I need to, so it doesn't matter with that. So I can also open my pickle jar. That way I have some water. But we're just going to give it a nice base coat here. Just going to lather it on up. I hope you all can, yeah, you can see that pretty well. Okay. So just give it a nice base coat. For instance, I'm not going to paint the bottom because then it's going to have paint getting on the table, which I don't need because it might get sticky or anything like that. So I'm just going to do the top because when I place it down on my trail, I'm only going to have them see the top too. But if you want to paint the whole thing, you're more than welcome to. Just know that it might get a little messy. All right. And as you can see, there's some there's little holes that you're going to have, and that's okay. It's a rock, so it's not going to be completely painted, but if you want, you could make sure that you are kind of dabbing those holes to kind of get in there, but you can do either one. All right, so you're going to put that base coat, and also what you do, you don't have to have a base coat. As you saw on some of these rocks, for example, this little guy with the glasses, he didn't have a base coat at all, so this person just painted directly onto the rock what they wanted. If you're wanting maybe like a background scene, or if you want to put something on top of it, like I maybe want it to be white and then I'm going to put like a quote on it, then you can do that. Or if you want to have maybe a green background with flowers on it, that's when you would want to have the coat. So generally after you put the coat on, you can do a second coat, or you can just let it dry for a little bit. Either one. The cool thing about this is it's kind of all up to you on what you want to do. And as you can see, my hands are pretty white right now, so I'm just going to rub it on that tablecloth that I put out for that purpose. Okay, so after you have your base coat, or if you don't have your base coat while you're painting along with me, you can go on to your next step. So I prepped one rock where I already painted it. So this is the rock that I just painted with you all. And then this is the rock that I prepped. So I already put my base coat on here so it's dry. I did it and I probably dried in about 10 to 15 minutes, so not too long if you're in that painting mood. So from here, what you're going to do is perhaps you're going to get the color off your brush that you were already using if you're going to switch colors, because you're not going to want those to mix unless you do. If you want, I know if you use white with another color, it's often exciting and it makes it kind of like a lighter color. If you want to mix colors together, you can do that too. So, but I'm not going to use any more white, so I'm going to get that off my brush. And I'm not going to clean it super well right now, but when I'm done with everything, that's when I'm going to clean it really well.
Wisconsin, Michigan.
So, all right. So next what I'm going to do is I found this really cute quote that I like. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and that's what I'm going to be putting on my rock. So the quote is, "Be silly, be honest, and be kind." And I think that'll be a nice message for people when they're walking around to find. It'll kind of just like brighten their day and make them a little maybe excited or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting that on my rock. So I'm going to look at my rock, determine where I'm going to want to place those things. I might take a smaller brush because I'm going to be writing. So for this one I have a really small tip, and when I was using on the other one was like a larger tip. So I'm going to pick some color. So this one's going to say, "Be kind." Oh, I can't. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do another one on that one I painted, the white one I painted with you all. I might put something fun on that. Maybe I was thinking maybe like either like a campfire, or maybe like people like hiking, so maybe like some sort of tree scene with maybe a campfire and some trees, I think would be cool. And it all depends on, maybe the shape of your rock will inspire you too. It all just depends, which is pretty neat. Alright, so there's my "be kind." Can you see that there? So now it says, "Be silly, be honest, and be kind." So lastly, after it would all dry, what I would do is I might write like, I might say like, "Made by a Girl Scout in my troop number," or something like that if I wanted. And then when I went on a walk with some adults in my family, I might take it with me and put it somewhere, which